Hey Maria, what are we painting today?
Tea time visitors.
I love tea.
Hello to all my BPTV friends, YouTube friends, Facebook friends. I'm Alan Levine, the Talking Machine. I'm here to do my 40th Maria's Ideas Teaches Us to Paint.
Hello, friends. I am Maria D. Simone Prasic. We are here at Johno's Art Studio in the South Side Slopes of Pittsburgh with a dear friend, very talented in many, many ways. You may know her or have been on one of her fabulous Pittsburgh tours, Kim Adley from Passport to Pittsburgh. So welcome, Kim. You back. I think this is third time. Yes.
This is the
She's
third
awesome.
time as the charm
Yes.
for Kim.
It's
Look
a
at her.
trifecta.
That's right.
Thank
We
you.
went to the track and what a winner.
That's right.
Thank you so much. Alan, Maria, it's an honor to be a guest here for the third time. I call it's the trifecta.
That's
And
right.
I'm Kim Adley, Passport to Pittsburgh owner, custom tour designs for Pittsburgh and beyond.
We know
They
about
are
you.
fabulous.
Yeah.
I've been on
Yeah.
many of them myself. I wish I could go on every one
Thank you.
someday when I retire.
Okay.
Kim and I have even co-hosted a couple shows.
Yes, we have.
Definitely.
That was always very fun.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm happy to have you here and give us your latest exploits throughout the
Thank
show.
you.
Yes.
I love our theme today. 'Cause,
Yes.
doing a
Well,
whole,
you're the inspiration.
Thank you. I'm doing a series of tea experiences in Pittsburgh and have a new passport book called Passport to Tea. And there's many, many hidden gems in the city. So we're taking people to have tea, and I know you love tea.
Every day.
And all of its health benefits, which we've talked about many times.
Yes.
Tea is also a way to calm ourselves in a crazy world.
Yeah.
And a time to share friendship, conversation, and it's actually going to be, I say, afternoon tea is the new happy hour.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm ready.
Yeah, me too.
So-
Sounds
me too.
amazing. Good luck to you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Safe travels.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
So the lovely Kim was the inspiration and what she is going on for this piece. So it's called Tea Time Visitors, which are the butterflies. They are the primary colors.
Beautiful.
Yellow, blue, and red. They are also the colors of the hypocycloids, which you just happen to have on your scarf today, which is wild.
Do. Hypocycloids
Yes.
are these shapes that are used in the steel or symbol.
Yes.
And symbolic
Yes.
of the elements that go into making steel.
Right. And I
Go
wanted to
Steelers.
Go
Right.
Steelers.
Well,
Yes.
and I wanted to get some black and gold in there, our
you.
Pittsburgh's colors, not just the team colors, but Pittsburgh colors.
Yeah.
So black and gold, tea, paint, art, colors that you like blue. So
I
there you
love
go.
it.
You look, and
Well, you know, I brought a teacup too, and I'm so glad I did. I'm really thrilled. What I find is that when I go on these adventures, and I know you probably drink your tea out of a mug, but
You see my glass mug every day. Yes.
every teacup is a little work of
sure,
art.
absolutely.
And I love finding,
Let me see.
every teacup's a little
Ooh.
work of art
That could be wonderful.
and has a story to tell. When you think about all the people.
Afternoon tea.
Yeah, when you think about all the people who've sipped tea from this cup, you know, it's a great story time as well. So thank you so much for embracing the theme.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
love it.
excited to paint teacups with
All right.
you.
Well, let's get started.
Okay.
So what I do here, we are using the panels because
Great.
it's just easier. They don't bounce, although we've been doing some canvases lately too.
Yeah, last show.
Yes. So we pre-draw everything, and then I always encourage all of my visitors and students where I teach to just make it your own. Don't try to make it look like mine. If your brush wants to go a different direction, you want to use different colors, that's in you. Let that come out. That's the artist in you. So
Thank you,
know,
for
don't worry
letting me
about
do
trying
that.
to match
Now
anything.
I'm an artist with number
Yes.
40 here.
Everyone is
That's
an artist.
amazing. Yes.
So the
What
other
an
thing,
experience.
Yeah, and if you have trouble drawing, you can use the grid system, which I use and show you for each episode. I have another short tutorial for each episode on my YouTube channel.
Maria, I like that just as a finished product.
So what I
Black and
did
white.
here
Yes.
was I created
Look at that.
this on my computer. I don't create my art on the computer, but I'll do design work on it just to save time. And then it's already digital. I print it out. So I printed it out the size of the canvas, and then you can take transfer paper, you can rub chalk on the back or graphite pencil and trace it, transfer it on. So that's how we have the same exact shape, design,
You
and
can
everything.
do this. Look at her. She's
Right,
our teacher.
but that's if you have that the same size. If you don't, you can start with a little drawing and blow it up. You can make this same design from 8-inch, 10-inch to 8 foot, 10 feet on a wall. Same way, you just mark off the grids, and I explain that. So you
And
know.
what are our boards here? The size.
These are 11 by 14.
Just wanted people to know.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
don't have, and that doesn't matter either. The only thing that matters is the proportion. If it's square, you want to paint on something that's square or adjust for that. The size doesn't matter. And so anyway, you don't have to worry about drawing if you need help with that. So we are going to start with, I don't have my pickle pointer. I can't find my pickle pointer, so I'm using one of Johno's chopstick
I'll be quiet
stirrers.
then.
So we usually with acrylics, you start from the back, come to the front, but because we paint different areas and all, the way we do this, and we do this very quickly under usually 40 minutes, so we are going to start with the cup and the table as that's drying, and I'll explain why that's going to work out best because of the different colors that we have here. So, and we also are going to use, I just want to show you real quick, the gray, so a gray scale, our eyes, our brains are, they have the ability to see grayscale. And like when we're babies, we don't see much color yet. Our brains are developing, but we still have the ability to see the grayscale even in things that are color. For example, this is grayscale. Okay, so we can still see that it's a cup. And we can still see that it's a plate and a table. So when you're trying to paint anything three-dimensional, grayscale is actually more important than color.
I didn't know
A
that.
tree doesn't have to be green to know it's a tree.
Exactly.
It's the shape, it's the highlights, it's the shadows, that's the grayscale. So if you want help with that, you can learn how to make a grayscale. You can go online, print out grayscales, and that's how our eyes see things three-dimensional on a two-dimensional piece. So that's
Thanks
important.
for teaching me that
Growing
today.
up with black and white TV, I was very used.
Yes.
We all
Oh,
were very
yes.
used to
Oh,
using
for sure.
grayscale.
That little button.
I second that emotion.
Exactly.
And then if we didn't feel like getting up to pull the button, like who's going to go
Hold
turn
it.
on the
I
TV?
had to hold
go
the
pull
foil
button.
on the antenna. That foil was my job.
And the
funny.
rabbit ears.
Yes,
Exactly.
you know.
All right. So we are going to get started. We are going to start with the cup. And the reason we're starting with the cup is we want the base to dry. We're blocking everything in. And as this is drying, we'll work on the other areas, and that's how we can be efficient with our time.
Okay.
So getting back to the grayscale on this image here, if you look real close, so gray, most people think we mix black and white, right? Which is fine.
Yeah.
But if you introduce other colors, blue or red or purple or green, it's a chromatic gray. So it has color in it. It's warmer, it can be cooler, but sometimes it's just a little nicer looking than just the black and white gray. So I am going to mix in maybe some blue in mine, but I'm going to start with white. Always start with the lighter color first. But let's put that on our palette, which is just a paper plate. It has the coating on it. Yep, you can wet your brush.
Yeah.
So always start with the lighter color. It's easier to
you.
introduce the darker color than to go the other way. So now I will take some black just in the little tip of my brush, and I put that beside there. And I'm going to mix that. Now, acrylics dry a little darker, so keep that in mind. So this is going to be, you can see if I just add black, it's okay, but it's gray, right? It's colder, but we can add, I'm going to add, this is, I should have said our colors too, right? I'm always excited when Kim's here. So, all right.
I could tell.
Oh, thank you.
These
And
are
we're learning so much.
Yes.
What an extraordinary learning
And
experience.
they are acrylics. And I don't worry about getting too specific with the actual color because you can use different brands. It doesn't matter. Just something in the similar color family. So we have a golden yellow. This is more of a gold tone here, or an ochre color. This is a bright red, like an orange red. This is ultramarine blue, a medium blue, aqua, black and white. So I think what I'm going to do, and you can do whatever you choose. You can
I'm
put yellow
following
in.
you.
I'm going to take a tiny bit of red. Now just
Oh
remember,
my
you don't want it to be
goodness.
pink. But what that's doing, you could see that's a prettier gray. It just warms it up a little bit. All right. You can add blue, you can add yellow, do whatever you choose. And we're going to come in and see that shadow, our light source is on the left side because all of our shadows are on the right.
Yeah.
So we're going to paint this section of the cup right here. Just come in with my brush. I have the 1/2 inch flat and just block in that section because that's the base. So even though it might look strange, it will make sense later on. So this is where the values, when you pay attention to the values, this is a medium value. This is a darker value. This is even darker. This is, so you could see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different values just here in the gray and white and the black. So what you want to do, since we already have that color mix, now in another place on the plate, because if you go back into your paint, it's a little trickier sometimes to make a new color. So on a separate spot, I'm keeping that color, but I'm just going to add some white just to brighten it. Maybe I would say 50% of what this other one was. And that's this lower section here because we don't want it to be a true white. That might still be too dark. So we want it to be still a gray, but not as dark as this one and not as bright as white. That same gray,
What are we adding to that then?
I just added more white. I'm going to grab a smaller brush and we're going to do the same thing on the plate with these two colors. I have a little angled 1/4 inch flat. That looks good, Kim. That looks good, Alan. And then just add, I'd say a little bit more of the color to that, Alan, though, so it's not
okay.
as white, but about half of what that other section is.
Okay.
All right, and then we're going to do the same thing down. Look at the areas on the plate. So this one, this area right here is slightly darker than that. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of black because we still have that color on our plate. And if it starts to dry, you just add a little bit of water. It will reactivate it. And these plates you could see have a little bit of a shiny coating. The paint doesn't absorb as much. It actually makes it easier. So this, I just added a tiny bit of black to this color. So whatever color gray you have, it doesn't matter. Just take your gray, whatever you used here, make it a tiny bit darker. And we're coming in, we're doing this section behind the spoon, like right here. And over here, it's this section right here. You see, Alan, where I'm at? It's like above and below the handle. And let's see if there's anything else the same. I would say like under the dish. No, that would be, yeah, that's about the same. Is also under here. If you set your brush down on the edge, the bristles of any line, and then you just pull your hand around. That's how you get a nice clean line. It's actually easier to do things like this with a larger brush than a smaller one if you're trying to do something where you're creating edges. So that's this one. Again, we can always tweak these if they're a little off. And, you know, it's art. So
Right.
we're not getting graded or anything here. We're just having
Oh,
fun.
thank you.
That's good.
So
So happy
it's
to
all
hear
good.
that.
I'm glad to hear that.
Art is subjective too, right? So
Yes.
now I added a little bit more black to then darken that, and I'm coming. We still don't want it to be as dark as that shadow under the plate. So this is a little bit darker. Let's see, that's this section. That's the spoon here. So it's like a little bit of that spoon, and then under the spoon there's a section here. So that's and you'll see as it dries, it's slightly darker. So they just look odd. They're just weird shapes, but it will all come together. And now sometimes I just clean off my brush. So I have a little bit of that on here. I think I'm just going to put a little bit on this side. Again, our light source is on the left side. Okay. Now we have a little bit darker. Maybe another 10%, 20%. Usually it's about 20% of your overall color, because we're still not all the way black. So now this one, I think I'm going to add a touch of blue, just so it's not so icky gray like our sky today
Oh,
in
I call
Pittsburgh.
it Pittsburgh gray.
Oh.
It's an actual
Oh, that's
classic color.
yes. Oh,
That
yeah.
is
So
a
this,
great
I think this is
verbiage.
Pittsburgh gray right there, huh? What do you
Everyone,
think?
all of our viewers know what that color
I
is.
know.
They see it in the sky daily.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yes, we do.
So now, oh, I mean, we do have some nice sunny days here too. But seems like this time of year, I don't know.
Yeah, well, more cloudy than sunny, but it's coming.
Okay, so now with this one, you can see I'm just turning the brush on this little edge. And I've come up here. So this is the top of the spoon. And even though it's the top and it should, you would think, have the highlight, but it's in shadow because of the cup. And we want that little edge of the spoon that will give us the dimension. So again, so we have, so this gray,
And what
should
do I
be
add to that? Get
just
that
a little bit more black, just a little
Okay.
bit of black. So you should have, and again, they don't have to be perfect. This is just, again, we can tweak
I'm
all
trying
this.
not to be too bold.
No, so right now the darkest that I have is this section right here, and then on top of the spoon. Yep, you're good there. So that same color, that looks good. This goes right here.
Okay.
And then I use the little. You're using your little
I'm
angled
using a
one?
little brush,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, little angled brush.
Yes,
Okay.
it's just easier, but it doesn't matter.
That's good.
You can use either one.
I appreciate the brush advice.
Yes, thank you. So let's see. So I am going. Oh, and then inside the cup we have. Ooh, whoopsie! I should have done that before. Well, we can still mix. I still have the same colors. This same gray, which is here, is going up inside in front of this one butterfly. Plus, I figured butterflies are good. They symbolize
Sign of-
transformation and things and just good, happy
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yes.
So, and your tours are amazing. I don't even know how many we've been on. Johno goes on them with me too. We love them. We love every single one
you.
we've been to. We go through your cards here like crazy.
I say it's good work. It makes people happy.
It does, and you don't have to think about anything. You just show up and just have fun. It's just amazing. Okay, so there we have those grays, and then there's a little section right here, but we can always add that in too. And we're not doing the black yet because when you're working with light colors, if we do the black first and parts of it isn't dry, and then it smushes and smudges in the gold, so we don't want that.
Okay.
All right, so then you don't have to worry about keeping up with me. We'll make sure you
I can't.
get done. Okay.
She does go fast, doesn't she, Alan?
She's a
can't.
That's
professional.
years of
Sounded very- You
experience.
sounded very sad when you said that.
I'm an amateur
I
here.
can't. You're funny.
I can't do it.
Okay, so I have those done. Now I'm just taking the true bright white. So try to make sure your brush is clean. I just went back to that same, no, I think I'm going to take my filbert. Filbert has a little curve on top. When you're doing curved shapes, that's very helpful. As you can see, it'll fit right in there. So in this filbert, I'm taking just the bright white. And so these looked pretty light. However, once you put this bright white on, and I don't know if it shows up on the camera much, but even the canvas itself is not bright white. It's more of an off-white. So I'm putting all this white.
So hard to find a really true white, isn't it, Maria?
Oh, yeah. I know. When people say, paint it white or paint my walls white.
Yeah, paint my walls
I'm
white.
like, oh, there's like a lot of different ways you can find white in a paint store. All right, so now that's...
I found white.
There you go. So you can see, does that show up on camera that you can see that that's different than that? And we may want to do another coat. In fact, I would say just lay that on generously, that white, so that will dry in time. And then we have the dish. I'll have to show you. I have a little tea set that was my mom's that they have. They're like this color, the yellow gold, and they have tulips on them.
Wow.
Just same the red. I think it's these colors too. They're really sweet. And then at one point when she moved, she gave each of us like parts of it, of the little.
What a
set.
great mother you have.
Yeah.
She is.
Here's my little wild
I
child.
see her in all the pictures.
Yeah.
I think it's a happy memory to maybe have tea with our moms or our grandmas.
Oh, yeah.
I remember having tea with my grandmother, and it was always too hot, the tea. So she poured
we had
the tea.
hot black tea all the
She poured
time.
the tea in the saucer for me to sip and let it cool. So that
We
was
would throw ice cubes in ours, which kind of defeated the purpose of a hot tea. But all right, so you could see I did this part on the plate. I did this section under the handle. So anything that's left on the plate, you would do the white, and then the little edge. We're not going to. Well, we're not going to do that yet. I take that back. Yes, we can. We will go back to that little angled brush. And this is where, again, having the angle, if you don't have an angled one, just a little flat square brush is good. I'm laying this. So this just looks like one ring, but it's actually divided in two. We have the white edge and the gold. And this is where these little highlights make a big difference, where our brains see that those little highlights and shadows, that's what gives it the dimension. So you can see what I did was I'm just loading the brush and I'm holding it on the edge and I'm just pulling, I'm just setting it down and then just pull it. And usually you hold your breath. I never realized that till I was on a big mural job one time and I was painting architecture. I think I was about ready to pass out. I didn't know that I held my breath.
You were trying to make your straight
line.
line?
I was doing everything, and some of it I taped off, but a lot of it I would do freehand. And I was holding my breath off and on for hours, all day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All right.
You got good lungs then.
All right, and then we can do the edge of the the spoon too, while we have that. And again, we might have to clean some of these areas up. And they will, like this white will be brighter once we get the other colors around them. Okay, so that's that. And then there's a little spot right here that has that highlight. So that's blocking in there. And then we can do, let's see. How you guys doing? It looks good. Alan, you're doing good? Okay.
Thank you.
We're good. All right, so now let's finish the cup itself. So the handle has a lot of little sections, but I did draw them on there. So we have we have like 3 or 4 different colors in here. But again, it's the value. It's all yellows or yellow golds, but it's the value, the darker value, the mid-tone, the lighter, the darker. That's what's going to give this little handle some dimension. I'm still using this little angled brush, and I am going to start with the darker. So I have an ochre on here. It's still a little too bright, so this I am going to, I'll show you the difference. If you take a little bit of black and add that to it, you can use that, but because blue is on the opposite side of yellow on the color wheel, and this is a yellow, if I take some of this ultramarine blue instead to knock it back and make it not so bright, don't want it to get greeny though. You have to make sure you don't do too much. It gets a prettier gold without.
I always wondered what happens when you mix black and gold together.
Well,
Yeah.
it makes a.
Go Steelers.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a loaded question. But anyway, it just makes a different kind of a
yes,
gold.
I see.
So you could do either one. This is a little darker, but anyway, I feel like I do like the darker one here anyway. So I'm just going to lay that in here. I'm going to grab a small, let's see, we have at least a few liner brushes. And then I'm taking one of my little liner brushes and I'm filling in this section here. Okay, so this is the little decorative handle. So I'm going to continue with these colors. So you'll see I'll go the darker, mid-tone, and light. So, and that way maybe I could talk to Kim, huh? What's up? So what's happening with you? What's your next tea tour?
Oh, my next? Well, we've had one a month is what the program is. One a month. We had a Valentine tour called You're My Cup of Tea.
Wow.
And we went to a lovely tea house in Mars, which is called the Johnston House.
I've heard of that.
It's lovely. Alan, you would
Yeah.
love it. And then our March tea was just last week. It was a take on the Alice in Wonderland theme, the March Hare string tea, and it was at a lovely tea room in Spears, Pennsylvania, which is called Serendipity Tea Room.
Whoa. I like serendipity.
Yeah,
It's a great word.
It is, and she is. It's a great little tea house where everything's made in house, and it's beautiful. And then coming up in April, we have a Bridgerton themed tea. Are you into Bridgerton?
No, I never heard of it.
No, it's a show on Netflix in the Regency era of Great Britain, so it's going to be a very fancy high tea. And I found a
Whoa.
candy castle. We're going out to the town of
How
New
cool
Brighton,
is that?
Pennsylvania. Candy castle and a
Yeah.
art museum and a railroad station. And then June, do you want me to continue?
Yes.
June, I'm excited about, is a Women on Wheels event. We're going to Morgantown, and we'll be going to the tea house in Morgantown.
Wow.
And we're going to have tea with Rosie the Riveter.
She's still around. She's
Yeah,
awesome.
she's
Legendary.
coming back.
I like that.
It's called the We Can Do It Tour. And then we're going to Arthurdale, which was a community created by Eleanor Roosevelt.
Wow.
Another great woman.
I love history. That is great.
You would love it. You should come, Alan.
I'll have
Should
to
I?
Come
think.
be my guest.
Whoa.
And July is a Christmas in July tour. And then I hope August is a tea tour with you, Maria,
Sarah's
called
candy.
Tea and Sweets at a beautiful tea room in Hickory called Uniquely Yours. And then hopefully we're going to tour Sarah's and see your
Yes.
murals.
That would
Yeah.
be awesome.
So much to come and so much fun. I'm enjoying the planning itself. Is so creative.
I
and
never
fun.
realized there were so many tea
Me either.
places around.
Me either.
Like you said, tea is the new happy hour, right?
yeah, and
It is now.
people
learned.
People enjoy it. You know, it's just a really nice way to go out with your partner. Gentlemen are most welcome.
Oh,
Real
thank
men-
you for the invite.
Real men drink tea, Alan.
And we were pink.
Johno drinks tea
And
every
wear
morning.
pink.
Johno starts every day with a cup of tea.
You know, it's
And then he has a coffee. But he does have a tea
yes.
every day.
So everybody
And
is
that's
welcome.
Stage Boy. Yeah.
It sounds amazing. So you can see what I'm doing here. I just filled it. I'm just looking at these little shapes. And this is creating the highlights, the shadows. What this does is these little elements on the cup. I was trying to figure out a way to create a little teacup that looks kind of fancy, but not too fancy that it takes us 3 hours to paint.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I did the design on the cup a little simpler, and you can change that.
What
too.
color? What colors am I using for that
So
handle
I
there?
took the ochre, which is the golden yellow, the darker.
Okay.
And then I mixed. I did it two different ways, but I liked it better with the black. I mixed a little bit of black with it.
Okay.
And you can also, if you mix red, blue, and blue with it too, it would make it more of a deeper brown gold, which might be nice too.
You know, I
think
was
I'm gonna
thinking,
add some.
Maria,
Yes.
also, as people are practicing this painting and painting it at home,
Yes.
they could personalize their teacup, couldn't
Oh,
they? To match
absolutely.
like their
Oh,
kitchen
sure.
if they
Oh,
wanted
sure.
yellow flowers instead of red flowers, or
Yeah, that's why I said you don't have to decorate it.
Oh, I have a
Yeah.
yellow
It could
kitchen.
be a very-
What do I do?
you could put yellow flowers if you'd like, or
Sure.
if you like the red flowers that
I like
complement.
the red. I like the
Yeah,
compliment.
but it's what the point is that it's art is open to
Exactly.
your own interpretation.
And
Guess
that's
what?
the
I might
keys.
put a few yellow ones in there.
There you
Right?
go.
You've inspired me.
I've inspired
Thank you for
Oh my
The
Kim.
goodness.
goal is always to not make it look like mine.
Mine won't.
Just do
I
your
guarantee
thing.
it.
So now what I did here, I just showed you, I added red and a little bit of blue to the yellow, and I made a brown gold. So I kind of switched it up just to show you. Again, I don't know how much of it really showed that much different on camera, but I feel like I liked it a little bit better, warmer. So it was the gold with red in it. And
Very
a little bit of the
interesting
blue.
here
I
today.
still use the black too in parts of it. So there you have our shapes, and then also these little areas here, they have a little tail where they come down the top and the bottom, because that shows the curve in that little bottom of the cup. All right, and then we have this here. And then let's see, we will take our gold. This is going to be the tricky one here on the brim, on this little lip here. It's a little, so like little there, and I'm leaving that little spot right around there. Okay, and then the back one that gets covered with the background. All right, so there we have our blocked in, except for the little gold down here.
That sure is a fancy handle on this teacup, Maria.
It is, well.
I like that.
Thank you. I thought you
It
might.
is very fancy.
Fancy handles are nice.
Yes.
You know, everything tastes better out of a china teacup,
Oh, yeah.
too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Put your milk in there in the morning, your orange juice, whatever.
I drink orange juice in my morning, like anything during the day. I like old vintage wine goblets and
that
things.
also
Oh.
helps things
And
taste good.
I just make it match whatever I'm wearing or my mood. I have some with smiley faces on
Yeah.
them. I drink out of all kind of different things. It just makes
It's fun.
It is, and I think things taste better out of like you said, china or even glass rather than plastic.
I definitely
tastes
feel that
better.
ladies or any of my guests who come on the tea tours always are just feeling so special when they're drinking their tea
You
out
make
of
them
a-
special.
out of a bone
Yeah.
china teacup.
Do they dress up?
Sometimes I do encourage it. Sometimes I have prizes for the best hat.
Aw.
If you want to wear a hat on
Whoa.
the tea tour.
That's
Interesting.
Oh, I'll have to keep that in mind for the one in August. I can make something maybe with some candy on it.
Here you go. That would be fun. But yeah, I encourage them to have fun with it. A lot of the tea houses actually have hats there that you
Oh.
can put on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That is great.
Yeah, it is fun. And you know, some of the ladies get into it, and some don't. But it's all personal how you.
What do
want
you do?
Oh, I'll always wear a hat.
Understand.
Yeah. So as you take tours throughout the passport book, you earn prizes, terrific prizes.
No way.
Yeah, and
Terrific. I
everybody's
like that
working-
thing. You're very good.
Everybody's working toward their fascinator. Do you know what a fascinator
Yes.
is,
I
Alan?
need to learn.
A fascinator is a very small hat that just sits right on the top of your head, often worn during tea.
I like the
Very
tea thing.
British.
Oh,
I
yes.
understand. You need the accent. Where are
Oh,
you?
darling, you know, of course.
I
know
knew
when-
you could do it. Thank you. You did it on key.
Yeah, that's right. When in doubt, pinky's out, Alan.
I got mine. Look.
Look at you.
Oh, we should do that when we're painting, huh? A little tricky though. All right. So I finished this. Now, if I'll look back at this again, and some of it might be a little bit crooked, we can clean it up, but I just want to move on to the other areas. So that's all blocked in. Okay, so it's coming together, right?
Yes.
Now the paint is going to fly. All right.
Okay.
Whoa.
So you guys keep doing your thing, and
I'm
just
trying
if
to
you
catch
refer
up
back
here.
to this picture, that will help you determine
Okay.
where the different colors. All right.
Thank you.
So now I'm going to paint the table. The table is, it's a very, I would say, terrible tile color, because some of them are yellow and some of them look almost like an orange, because they're so golden.
Yeah.
So it's more like that. So I don't have orange here, but I have this bright red. I do want that to be a very rich golden yellow. Ooh, that does look like that. It's going to dry a little darker though. So I did take this yellow, which is considered just a
Excuse me.
regular
Sure.
medium yellow or cad yellow. And I want that a little richer because the highlights of the brighter yellow will come on. And so what I'm doing is I'm just blocking in the table. I have the 1-inch brush for the larger areas. You can come in with that. You can also use, I think I'm going to switch back. I don't even need this big one. Switch back to the 1/2 inch. So I'm just blocking this all in. All right, I'm laying my brush down. When I'm coming in, cutting around, you can see if you just lay your brush down and pull your hand, that's how you get a nice edge rather than trying to take a small
Very
brush
informative there. Yeah.
well, I mean, if you have a smaller brush and you're doing this, you end up with like a shaggy line, which is fine when you're doing certain subjects. But in this case, you just lay the brush down and pull your hand, and it just makes it a lot easier. And you can certainly change the color of your tablecloth or whatever you want to do. So I was just trying to stick with the theme of the black and gold a little bit. In the background, I added some blue because Kim likes blue. Alan was telling me we all like blue.
I like
right?
blue. My bedroom
I
is
love
blue.
blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a favorite color of mine.
Same here. Okay, so you could see that's blocked in, and then up here, now I just keep that edge of that. That's my shadow. Okay, and then it's a little darker here. Could cut in, you could see the corner of the brush, just let that go in. And then my light source, I'm not even cleaning my brush because I'm going from this to just the bright yellow, and I want to actually add some white so it looks even lighter here. I'll cover up those graphite lines. And I may want to hit that again just to brighten that up once it dries a little. And then I have a little bit of that back here. So that again helps with that's the value of the yellows, right? It's a lighter, it's still yellow, but it's the values. This section down here is the edge that is vertical of the table. So I'm just going back to one of my darker golds. I could even go back to my plate with the golds on it. And you can see if I add some water, this reactivates that. Grab some of that. Boy, it's really raining out there, isn't it?
Wow,
I
I
can hear
know. It's like all or nothing, isn't it?
It is.
Don't you just love Pittsburgh
I
spring?
know. It's going to be
Pittsburgh
80
weather.
on Saturday, I
Yeah.
You
think.
can get all four seasons in one day.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
we do. We just did it recently.
Yep. That is true. I was out taking pictures of our daffodils a couple weeks ago, and it was so warm and it was so beautiful and sunny, and then like 6 hours later there was like 3 inches of snow on them.
I
Yeah.
know.
They were
It's crazy.
I remember that day.
yeah. All right, so that's the table there. All right, and so what I did for this gold, I put a little bit of red in there because I did end up doing that in here, a little bit more of a browny gold. All right, so that's that. Oh, forgot this little section, didn't I? Well, there. Oh, so I've learned chuffed it's when you're happy you're chuffed in England.
Oh.
So when you're drinking tea, you're chuffed to bits.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Brilliant, Maria.
Yes. Chuffed to bits. All right, so that's all blocked in. Now I'm going to work on the background. Now in the background, I have the brighter, I might have more of the aqua, the medium blue, and then transitioning into the ultramarine blue, and then black. I want that dramatic black here, around the cup, here, and that's why I wanted to do these bright colors first, because you'd always do those first if you can, so that if parts of the black, if it wasn't dry, it would pull into your yellow. So all of these deep blacks, and then this shadow here. And that's going to make this all pop. All right, so let's see. I'm going to clean my brush. So now I'm going to paint wet on wet, meaning I'm going to keep the edge and the color, just keep it going all the way across, and just let them blend. That's with acrylics, it's really, really difficult to blend acrylics because they dry quickly, but if you move fast and you keep that wet edge, it's easy.
Okay.
I have books that say you can't do murals and blend from one end of the wall to the other like that, but you can. You just have to work really fast. I would do it with paint rollers. I'd have 3 paint rollers go at the same time, you know. But you just can't let that dry. So I'm going to wet my brush. I'm starting with this aqua color. And I think I'm going to put in a little bit of white. It's going to look a little different than the one that I created, and that's fine because I chose to bring this color up. So I'm going around this little butterfly. So that's our light source is on this side, which is why it's brighter. So I'm not even cleaning my brush. I'm just going, I'll take the extra off, but I'm not rinsing it. Now I'm going to the medium blue, and I'll start over here and go back into the other one. If you start over here, it might be too heavy. You can always go back. It's always easier to make something darker than to make it lighter. I mean, you can add white.
Remember that lesson.
That's a good lesson.
And you can, I mean, you can make things lighter, but sometimes it gets chalkier looking if you're adding white. Now with this background, I'm doing more of a cross hatch technique, which is like this. I'm using both sides. If you, and my just hand tends to go that way. I'm just used to doing that. You can do shapes, you can do spirals, you can do, you know, just one direction. It's really up to you.
Thank you.
It's, and again, you can, whatever feels comfortable to you. This brush has some little things sticking out on it. I would normally just cut those off, but I don't have scissors with me. You could see there I accidentally just went on the yellow. So I will fix that. And sometimes you end up with like little boo-boos like that, and it's okay. You just, it's paint.
That's
so
right.
You can fix
You
any
told
of
me
it.
no boo-boos here. I've learned.
It's there are no
40
mistakes,
shows
right?
here. 40.
I know.
That's amazing, Ellen. And
know.
what do you think? Have you become an artist?
Maria tells me I
Definitely.
am, so
Heck
I'm not
yeah.
going to doubt her.
That's fantastic.
Definitely have. You have great skills now, and you and I like that you. I mean, you do. You have a style of your own, and I like it. Don't change
Thank
it.
you.
That's
Thank
what's.
you.
I mean, wouldn't it be boring if everyone created and painted the same way?
Exactly.
Like what? Then yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't even make sense.
Nope.
All right, so now I mixed in some of that ultramarine blue because we do want that contrast between where the edge of the cup is. I'll have some black in there too at some point that we can glaze over. But I'm introducing the ultramarine blue. I feel like I can put some in here, but you can see it's still wet. And I have some water in here too, so it's not drying as fast. There are also things that you can buy that you can add to your acrylics.
What would you do?
There are things that slow the drying time that you can add to them. They're clear.
Because this dries rather quickly.
It does, but oop, look at that. Some yellow accidentally just went in there. I guess I gotta leave it in there now. Okay. It was on the table and it pulled it in. You can add some solvents and things that are water based.
Oh, really?
It's a slow drying medium.
See, we're learning extra.
We are.
Yeah.
Extra
I'm still
tips
learning,
today.
Alan. I'm always learning.
Life
That's-
is a lifelong learning process.
That's right, and it's fun. It's
It
fun to
is.
keep learning.
I'm having fun too. Thank
Hey,
you.
when we stop learning, we stop living.
Exactly.
You'll be dead.
You know, I think you got to just keep that attitude.
I have it.
I hung out with my grandparents, and my grandpa used to read encyclopedias for fun at night while he was watching the news and game shows. And as he got older, he used to use a magnifying glass. There was a magnifying glass sitting
Well, I
on
read
his
history
night.
for fun every day,
Yeah.
so I'm with them.
We were reminiscing. I was reminiscing with some customers yesterday about the World Book Encyclopedia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
Yes,
Yes,
I
we
do.
have
Oh
them.
my goodness.
I still have a few that were my mom's, and she'd say, we'd ask a question or something, and she'd go look it up. Go look it up. She would never tell us the answer. Go look it up.
I know.
Right.
That's how
And
we
we
learned.
loved it.
Yeah, and our neighbors too. They'd come over. Can we borrow R or M? You know, so yeah.
Those were the days.
And then we
My uncle gave me a whole set,
Aw.
and I had 3 shelves in my bedroom, and that was 1/4 of it.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah,
Aw.
great memories. Thank you.
Yes.
Uncle Harry just passed away 2 years ago, so
Aw.
yeah.
But then as we got older, we would go to the library, which is right up here, up the road. But then, so if we had to answer a question, that was like an hour and a half because we'd have to walk up, walk to the library or take a bus out to one that's further, look it up, make the copy, find it, the book, right? The little cards in those
Yes.
file cabinets.
We had to go 10 minutes away to West End Library
Oh, yeah.
because Greentree didn't have a library when I
Okay.
was growing up.
I
was
loved
an
those
adventure.
little cards. When you got that, I can remember when I was able to go by myself and put my name in the little cards on the inside jacket of the books.
Oh, I love that.
That
Oh,
was
yes.
cool. Like, could you imagine nowadays that would never happen? Like, even the privacy issues, I can remember looking at the cards and seeing my friends' names on there, you write your first name, last name, everything on there. And anyway, they were good times. All right, so I'm coming in here. You could see I went from the light blue to the dark blue, and now I'm looking for my little filbert. And then into black, and I want this really dark down here under this handle. And I am using straight black, which is usually a no-no, according to some people, because it creates like a hole. But you can put, it kind of does for our eye, but I do want that dramatic black.
A little drama's good.
Yes, and also around, so what I'm doing is kind of coming in around this butterfly. On my smaller brush now, I am purposely coming around the cup. Would it look like this in a setting in a room with the black shadow? Probably not, but that's sometimes when you create art, especially say if you're doing a still life or a landscape or any kind of artwork, you have to paint what the piece needs, not necessarily what you're seeing. And that's, otherwise it just doesn't always translate the same, because you're taking something that's three-dimensional and making it two-dimensional. So you have to adjust.
Teacher, this
things.
is all making sense.
Well, I mean,
I love it.
okay, so this I'm just coming around, like I said, with the black. I'm doing a little bit of this, and then taking that extra paint off my brush, and I'm just kind of blending it out a little bit, just so it's not so much of a harsh line, but I want some drama around the cup. I don't know how else to say it. I just want that. I like contrast, heavy contrast when I paint. I don't know why, but some people are very light-handed with their brush strokes, with their colors. I
don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, heavy-handed and just more dramatic with, I don't know, I just feel like my eyes need to see that.
Thank you for doing the show with me. That sounds like my description.
Yeah. And then we can always add more little touches. All right, so that's there. And then this is going to be the fun part right down here, right? So I'm still using this little brush here, the filbert. I'm coming around. I'm going to grab the big one real quick, though. So now I'm coming in. I'm doing this shadow here. And you can see, just kind of grab your brush and push it down and pull your arm.
Yeah.
Yep. And hold your breath. Hold your breath. Okay.
When do I let out?
whenever you're done with the brush stroke.
Okay.
I just want to be, I'm trying to be so careful around my butterflies.
Well, you can, yeah, you can, I mean, you'll be able to fix them up too. So you just you can take a smaller brush where you get around the butterflies, you know. And if any of this looks a little off, like I feel like my shadow looks a little wonky here, I can come down, I can fix that. This a little narrower and it gets wider here, because that's the spoon. So it's starting to come together. All right, so now everything's blocked in except the butterflies. Now we're going to grab, these are fast, right? We're going to grab yellow. So I usually work from the lightest color to the darker, so I don't have to clean my brushes much, just because. So I'm going to take the yellow. I'm blocking in. I'm using the little filbert. Wipe out the excess, and because if some of the colors mix, it makes it nicer. Now this is where, because we did do that black, you have to be careful none of this black gets pulled in on my red butterfly. And if it does, it's okay. We'll fix it. Just like that. Some of it just came in there. So blocking those butterflies in. And then the blue. This butterfly on this side is a little bit darker because it's in shadow. And you can see I'm purposely pulling the brush strokes in the direction that the butterfly patterns are. So the texture of the paint is helping to create that at the same time, leaving some little spaces there too. So they're blocked in. Okay, and then we have his little head and his little body.
It's so fun mixing paint.
It is. And now I'm going to do something similar. It may end up looking a little different, but I'm going to just stick with these little flowers because I'll show you how easy they are to do with this brush.
Uh-uh.
All right?
Can't wait.
So I will show you one on here. I'm using the red. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind, now it should work okay without touching up the color, but because we did the gray scale already, the same color on this white background versus the gray background might look a little different because of that color underneath. Because these flowers should be a little bit darker than these because they're in shadow. And it might just work if this paint is transparent enough. If not, then we just darken the color. So first I'll go to start with the red and the white. So if I go like this, if I start in the center, I have that little filbert. That's one petal here, and then as you go, you just dip in the white, and that's, so something like that. That's your little flower, all right? So they're just different shapes. And then, so I'm taking the red, and I'm going to do, and this one, that red in there looks a little bit darker. If I take a tiny bit of blue, just darkens it a tiny bit. If I go like, so let's say here, I'm just doing the darker red section. This is just the placement, so I know where they are. Here, one here. These are smaller.
You got a good star there.
Smaller.
You know, one time I was at a painting class, and it was a sip and paint class. I've never done that.
Oh yeah.
And I drank my paint water instead of my drink.
No.
That's not good to do, students.
No.
Pay attention.
That's why artists usually have lids on their refreshments.
Remember that tip.
Yeah. You heard it here
First.
on Maria
Oh,
Teaches
yeah.
Us to Paint.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or you accidentally put your brush in your drink too. I've done that.
Oh,
Oh.
that'll change the...
So I accidentally ended up with some yellow on my brush because of my paint, my white paint has some contamination there, but I kind of like it. What do you think? I think I'll just leave it.
I do too.
Okay, I'll just leave it. So I went to do the white or the light red, and it added some yellow in there, so why not, right?
Yeah.
So just add your little, if you don't want to do flowers, you could do polka dots, you could do a fancy rose, you could do a pattern, right? It doesn't have to be,
Exactly.
what's on your little cup? You brought that some kind of a flower, I
Every
think.
cup can be personalized.
Wow.
How'd you like to have that job, just sitting around painting cups, huh?
That might be boring after a
Yeah.
while. To be honest.
I didn't expect that reaction.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I thought you were like, oh, that would be fun.
No, for 10 minutes it'd be great.
Yeah, I hear ya.
You know, some people have that job, and I take a group out to a pottery company
Yeah.
in Washington County called Westerwald Pottery.
Oh,
And it's a
wow.
German-style pottery made the
Okay.
old-fashioned way. And there is one guy who sits there all day and paints the designs on every cup.
But does he have to do the same design all the
No,
time?
no, he doesn't. No, but still,
Even that, yeah, I don't
it's
know.
still rather tedious, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it can be. Yeah.
All right. So I'm not sure if I'm thrilled with them, but they're there. So you can always tweak them. I feel like I add a couple, little bit of yellow. Okay. Now I have my little filbert brush, which is still good for my butterflies. I throw some yellow on here. I'm just using colors that I feel like will look good on the butterfly. So they have their little markings. Okay, they come this way. And these don't have to look. You can spend, if you want, you can spend another hour on the butterflies.
I got to
You
catch
can
up, so.
Add tons of detail. You don't have to, it's up to you. We're just doing something kind of more whimsical here, so. All right.
Little whimsy's good.
Yes, so I did grab my small liner, and whenever you work with the liner and you want that little point, you wet it and you twirl it like this and get your little chiseled point. To get that spoon, I'm gonna grab right here and right up here, like that. I did feel like I covered up some of what would be white, but I can go back in. There's a lot of water in there still. And get this little edge here. And then I'll just grab some of these other little points that need to pop while I have that. And then I will go back to my butterflies. Okay, so I will, all right, so on the butterflies here, I'm using some lighter, whatever colors you ended up doing. If you did the same, just pick out some colors on the palette that these little patterns will show. So the yellows, the whites, obviously if something brighter, you can go lighter, you can go darker, and then make sure you get their little bodies and their little thingy, their little
Antenna?
yeah. So that I want a very small line, so I just flattened out my round brush. Just grabbed it with my finger and just get a little tiny line there. And all right, the steam I'm going to use, I'm going to use white with a little bit of the aqua in there. So I'm starting in the cup and I'm just going to come up like this. Make this one a little chunkier than I'd probably like. I could wipe it off if I wanted to, but I'll just leave it go. I can put an artist is never happy with their work, usually, just so you know. I mean,
But what you taught me is
but
when I step back tomorrow and look at it,
yeah,
it's going to look so good.
it will look better, but I feel like that's just what we do, and then it helps us learn. So I don't worry about it too much. I just, you know, it is what it is. And
Go with the flow.
I learn from it. So, what would I do different? You know. All right. So, all right, we'll take a break here, and we'll finish up, and then we'll come back for our reveal.
We do it on cue.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll guide us.
Whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, we're ready. All right, guys, let's reveal.
Oh, ta-da!
Tea time visitors.
They're terrific. They're terrific, aren't they?
So
Maria, you're fabulous.
So are you.
So are you. Thanks for being
Thank
the
you
third
so
time.
much for being
Yeah,
here.
You were awesome.
Great job and
Steeped in beauty.
steeped in beauty. Oh, let's see, Alan.
Tea and beauty.
All right.
Oh,
I love it.
fantastic.
Good job, guys.
Thank you so much for having
Oh,
You're
thanks for
welcome.
being here.
me. Yeah.
Check out Passport to Pittsburgh.
Hope to see you on a
maybe
tea tour.
Yeah, maybe I'll see you
Yeah.
on one. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
All
for
right,
watching.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.